This is big.
Well, it's just gone 6 in the morning. The car is on defrost because we had a pretty cold night. After a lot of mild weather, it's dropped right off. The last few nights have been pretty cold. But we're going carp fishing again, and I got about a 50-minute drive to get to the lake. And hopefully we'll have a few. Let's say car's defrosting. Once that's done, we'll be on our way. So next time I see you, we'll be on the lake.
Well, over an hour later, a lorry accident and lane diversion around icy lanes, and I'm finally here. And I'm going over all the icy bombs of my days on the track right next to the lake. You will recognise it from previous videos. I am fishing at Cokin Farm. The shock absorbers are just about holding out. It is -3 outside, so it's not a warm one to start the day. And everything is icy and frosty, but luckily the lake isn't frozen, because after that long journey I would have been a bit miffed if I got here and saw that the lake was frozen. So at least that's a plus point. Just going to park up behind a swim, and then we're going to get the rods out, see if we can bag a few carp on a very cold February morning. Well, a proper good morning to you all, and a very, very cold morning it is indeed. When I checked the forecast a few days ago, it's meant to be about 6 to 8 degrees, heavy rain. I thought, perfect, looks nice and carpy. And it's still carpy, but not quite as enjoyable because I'm freezing at the moment. I've got a first brew on the go. -3 on the car this morning when I got here. Patches of ice in the margins, and nothing yet. Second recast now. The mist has started to rise. The sun's meant to break through, and it's starting to, so it should warm up a bit. But yeah, it's been a pretty slow start. Left rod I'm fishing just a simple hair rig boilie on a KD style, and the right rod is a stiff hinge with a washed out pink pop-up sort of colour on the right. 2 tactics I used in my previous video at Newton Park, and caught fish on both tactics, so not going to change anything. I know they'll work. It's just a case of getting on the fish and hoping they'll take the baits when they get there. But until then, I'm going to enjoy the morning, enjoy my cup of tea, warm up a bit, and keep on feeding my resident robin, which has already paid me a visit a few times. Well, a quick recast when nothing was happening. I had a few beeps, but not enough to make me think there's fish in the area. So quick recast, a bit further away from the islands, because I was quite close, and within 15 minutes the rod's gone off, and I've got a lovely scaly mirror in the net. But being the winter, I want to optimise my chances, and if there's fish in an area, I want to get the rig back out as quick as possible. So the fish is resting in the net, which doesn't harm it as long as it's in enough water, gives it enough time to recover as well. Just making sure the hook is nice and sharp, tack sharp, and that was on the little KD style hair rig, which I flicked out to the island to my left. So I'm going to quickly get this out, get the fish out, and show you it. Well, as I just said, I've had a fish. I recast both rods actually, just getting a bit better positions, because I thought the left one, which is the one that's gone off, was a bit too close to the island, and it seems I was right because I moved it out a few foot. A few more free offerings around it, and we've got probably just into double figures. A lovely scaly plump mirror. Different on both sides, so I'll show you both. I've had him resting in the net while I got the rod back out, so he's a bit lively. There we go, fish number one. Probably just into double figures, if not it's very close. And that's the less good looking side. I'll show you this side in a second. Single 15mm boilie on a KD rig. A few free offerings around it. And look at that side. Beautiful linear scales. Really happy to get off the mark with this one. Really dense set fish actually. A few leaks on it where it's been sat dormant for a while. So a lovely start to a freezing cold morning on a very, very simple rig. Let's get him back. Midday, and action has, well, it never really picked up. I had that one fish that was obviously just mooching around the island and picked it up, but I've had no touches since. The average temperature has risen, as you can see. The ground has thawed, but it doesn't feel any warmer. The wind's picked up a bit and it's pushing through the swim. I'm quite far down the end of the lake, so there's not much room to go left, but because it's quite a cold wind, I'm thinking I might move onto the back of it. I've been watching the water as much as possible, just looking for any signs of fish movement. And where there's less ripple up there, I am seeing some flat spots, the odd bubble or two, and some ripples. So it looks like there's far more activity down there. I've just got the kettle on because I'm going to have something to warm me up, and then once I've had that, I'm going to bring the rods in and head down there. Even as I talk, a fish has just shown, or sort of turned on the surface. So it's definitely going to be worth the move, but I'll have a cup of tea first. I've been in the swim about half an hour now, and no touches on either rods. Another one of the things that's been doing well up here recently apparently is very small high-vis pop-ups. So I've got a little one on a really, really simple rig here. I'm just about to sharpen up the hook because I'm getting a bit anal about my hook sharpening, and I want to make sure that I'm getting those bites and nailing the fish every time. So I'm going to switch over to this with a very, very small bag of crushed up boilie, and that's going to go out again. I'm still confident in the right rod. I know that that one is a good tactic. And oh, cheeky beep on the left hand rod. So yeah, just going to keep on changing it until I find the fish, because I am fishing for a bite, and there's no point in sitting behind rods motionless without trying to figure out what the fish are going to be having and taking on advice and acting upon it. So let's give this a try and see if we can have something. As you can probably tell, the rain is here. Came a bit earlier than it was supposed to according to the forecast, but never mind, it's already here. And I'm not going to sit back and wait and sit on the rods because there's still nothing happening. So I'm about to recast again and keep the baits moving around until I find some fish. I may not move swim again, but I'm definitely going to keep the rods going around. The bait tactics I still think are good. It's just a case of finding the fish, which are clearly not moving around too much. So I'm going to have another recast despite the rain, just because I'm not going to catch them just by sitting and waiting. So let's get the rods redone. taken a very long time. I finally had another take, and it's another beautiful little scaly mirror, smaller than the first one, but just as good looking, if not more so. And again, I've had it resting in the net while I got the rod back out in case there's more fish out there, meaning that he's ready for fight number 2 on the bank. There we go, another beautiful little mirror. It's taken a long time, but this one was on the stiff hinge, pink pop-up. I didn't change it because I know it's a tactic that will work, and eventually it's gone off, and it absolutely nailed in the right hand corner of the mouth, just how it's meant to. And every single hook hold I have on that rig is the same. Really good. Holding up the other side. There we are, another beautiful condition mirror, ready to go back. Happy days. We virtually ended up with a double take then. The first run of the 2 came off, and I recast that, and I was just about to put it back on the pod, on the rest, sorry, and the left rod went off, which was that tiny little wafter I put on earlier, the high vis one, with a tiny bag, and flung it down further. I've got a really nice, clean common. Again, rested it while I got the rod back out, so they're all lively when I get them back out. There we are. Again, scraping up to double figures, I'd say. But real clean fish, and great fun. When this morning it was -3, and now it's wet and miserable, I'm starting to get some runs, so maybe the move did pay off, and we could have a few more. But I'm really enjoying today, and when the fish are coming out, this perfect condition, you can't complain. Let's get it back. Well, I've got about an hour, maybe an hour and a half left, and it seems like the action's starting to hot up. The last half an hour I've had about 3 runs. Lost one just a second ago, but then this one went off just after I cast out, and as you saw, I had that nice common. So it seems like the fish have kind of started to switch on a bit more, and I found some spots where they are feeding, so we may have a couple more towards the end. I'm glad I persevered and kept moving baits around until I found some fish, as it certainly paid off. So we'll keep them in the spots they are at the moment and see if we'll have a couple more. But if we don't, I don't mind. It's stopped raining at least, that's why I'm filming outside. Nice to be out and not getting wet. Well, as you can tell from the length of the run, I was just popping some stuff in the car, which is just behind the swim, and sod's law, that's when the rod goes off. And here we are, biggest of the day, another beautiful mirror, probably around the 13-14 pound mark. Just as wriggly as they've all been, where I've been resting them in the net while I got the rod back out. But a lovely, perfect condition fish once again. Determined to beat me up, but I want to hold him up one more time. He's a lovely fish. Lovely winter colours on its belly. They've all been perfect condition. Really happy with that. But can't complain. Good day's fishing. I've lost 2 now, but I've caught 4. And rain's starting to come back, starting to pack down. Quickly show you this side as well, because they are such nice looking fish. There we are. What a great day's fishing. Let's get him back in case another rod goes off. Thank you, mister. You've made the end of my day. Well, I'm going to call it a day there. It's starting to get dark, starting to rain again, and I don't want to get everything wet right before I get back in the car, especially with the camera gear. So I hope you enjoyed this session. I've had a proper good day. I took a while to get going after that first fish, but after moving and trying different spots and keeping active even in the swim I was in, really did pay off, because eventually I found the fish. And it turned out the last few fish actually came by casting back down to one of the other spots this morning. So the fish are obviously still hanging around there, but I did have a couple of runs on the right rod up here, so it was worth moving. And it just shows again, that's one of the smallest baits I've ever used that I had quite a few of the runs on, that tiny little high vis pink on a hair rig, and it was nailing them, and they were really enjoying feeding on the little bags of crushed up boilies. So I've had a great day, and all the fish have been absolutely top-notch condition. That's really nice to see, and they all went back fighting fit. Just an all-round great day's fishing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit like if you like the video, and find me on Instagram and Facebook, Nuffinbutfishing. Till then, I'll see you next time. Just watching. Oh, what are you still doing here? I've done the end block. That was the end block. Honestly, why are you still here? Look, you can either click on that video if you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it, watch again, or that video again. If you've seen it or you haven't seen it, you can go watch that if you want, or right in the middle there, subscribe if you haven't already. Honestly, that's it. There's no more fishing in this vlog. You can go now. Bye.